My friends, sit with this truth for a moment. In every classroom, every hallway, every exam room where pencils shake and hearts race, there's a quiet story unfolding. A story far greater than the pursuit of perfection, the story of improvement. The world often celebrates the student who stands at the top of the mountain, but it forgets to honor the one still climbing, with scraped knees and tired hands, the one who refuses to give up. There is a moment in every student's life when the world feels impossibly large, when expectations sit heavy on their shoulders, and the pressure to be perfect becomes a silent weight they carry alone. In classrooms across the world, young minds look around and wonder if they are enough, smart enough, fast enough, talented enough to keep up with everyone else. And somewhere along the way, society has taught them a dangerous lie that only the top student matters, that only the brightest shine, that only progress is a quiet thing, so quiet that most people overlook it, because they're too busy chasing the loud applause that comes from perfection. But if you slow down, take a breath, and really listen, you'll feel the truth humming beneath the surface of every effort you've ever made. Progress is the real miracle. Progress is waking up on a day when you feel tired, lost, or defeated, and still choosing to give a little more than you did yesterday. It's the small step you take when your legs are shaking, the extra minute you invest when the clock says you're already done, the single page you read when your mind wants to quit. Perfection might look beautiful from a distance, but it's fragile, brittle, impossible to hold. Progress, though progress has weight, it has warmth, it has life. It stays with you, molds you, transforms you slowly, steadily, relentlessly. You see, perfection tells you that you must never fail, but progress leans in gently and whispers, fail and rise again. Perfection demands instant results, but progress rewards patience, character, and grit. Perfection is concerned only with the image people see, the grade on a sheet, the rank on a board, the number on a scoreboard. But progress is concerned with the person you become in the shadows, when no one is watching. And that, my friend, is where true strength is born. Because every time you refuse to surrender, every time you try again after falling, every time you push forward even when the world doubts you, something inside you grows. Something unbreakable, something unstoppable. The truth is, you don't need to be flawless to become extraordinary. You only need to be willing to move, inch by inch, day by day, toward the version of yourself you know you're capable of becoming. The world may not clap for your quiet improvements, but life will reward them. Your mind will sharpen. Your confidence will deepen. Your spirit will harden like steel forged through fire. And one day when you look back, you'll see that it wasn't the big leaps that changed your life. It was the tiny steps, the ones you thought didn't matter, the ones nobody else noticed. Progress is the slow turning of the tide, the rise of the morning sun, the gentle shift that ends up changing everything. So don't fear imperfection. Fear standing still. Don't chase the illusion of being the best. Chase the reality of becoming better. Because if you can move forward, even by the smallest fraction, especially on the days when it feels impossible, you will unlock a strength inside you that perfection could never give. And once you taste that kind of strength, you'll understand that progress, humble, patient, quiet progress, is the most powerful force you will ever carry. There comes a moment in every student's life when they look around and feel the weight of comparison pressing down on their shoulders. The pressure to match someone else's speed, someone else's grades, someone else's brilliance. But the truth, the deep and powerful truth that too many people forget, is that your real competition has never been the person sitting next to you. It has always been the person you were yesterday. When you understand that, something inside you shifts, the noise fades, the fear loosens. The race becomes quieter, calmer, and far more meaningful. Because when you stop chasing someone else's shadow, you finally step into your own light. You start asking different questions. Not, how do I beat them? But, how do I rise above who I was? And that question becomes the beginning of real transformation. Every day becomes an opportunity to sharpen your mind, to strengthen your focus, to expand your heart just a little more. You no longer rush to outrun others, you only work to outgrow yourself. And every time you do, Even if by an inch you win a battle far greater than any competition could ever offer. You see, comparing yourself to others is like looking into a distorted mirror. It shows you fragments, pieces, illusions that were never meant to define you. But comparing yourself to your past self, that is clarity, that is truth, that is growth. When you measure your progress day by day, page by page, effort by effort, you begin to realize that your journey has been far more incredible than you ever gave yourself credit for. The challenges you faced last month, you can handle now. The fears that once overwhelmed you, you've learned to rise above. The mistakes that once embarrassed you, you turned into stepping stones. And that kind of growth doesn't just make you smarter. It makes you stronger, humbler, more resilient. It gives you a kind of quiet power that no ranking or scorecard can ever measure. Because the students who focus on their own path, their own pace, their own progress, they build something deeper than achievement. They build character. And character, once forged, doesn't break. So let others run their races. Let them chase their trophies and shine in their own time. Your task, your sacred, personal task, is to become a better version of yourself with every sunrise, to learn something new, to correct one small habit, to rise from one old weakness, to remind yourself that growth doesn't happen in leaps. It happens in layers. And when you stack those layers day after day, you become someone no one else can compete with because you are not following their story. You are writing your own. And as long as you are even one step better than the person you were yesterday, you are already winning a race that truly matters. There's a quiet magic hidden inside the smallest actions we take, a magic so subtle that most people walk past it without ever noticing. But if you pause long enough, if you look closely at the patterns of your own progress, you'll see a truth that can transform your entire life. Small daily improvements don't just add up. They multiply. They grow in silence, beneath the surface, while you're busy believing that nothing is changing. It's the extra 5 minutes you spend reviewing a lesson, the single math problem you try again even when your brain is tired, the chapter you read before bed when you could have chosen your phone instead. These little decisions look insignificant, almost invisible, but they're building something extraordinary inside you. Each tiny effort is like placing one brick into a foundation. At first, the structure seems small, fragile, unimpressive. But keep placing those bricks, day after day, week after week. And one day you'll look up and realize you've built a fortress. That's the power of consistency, the power of small beginnings, the power of choosing progress over comfort. You see, greatness is rarely born in loud moments. It's born in the quiet, repetitive choices that most people underestimate. You may not see results right away, and that's where many give up. They think slow progress is no progress. But slow progress is the only kind that lasts. Every time you add just a little more to your skill, your knowledge, your discipline, you're not just getting better. You're preparing yourself for growth that will come in waves. You are compounding your efforts the way a seed compacts its strength beneath the soil before it breaks through the earth. And when that breakthrough comes, people will call it sudden success, overnight talent, natural ability. They'll never see the mornings you pushed yourself out of bed when no one was watching, the moments you doubted yourself but still continued, the quiet evenings when you chose learning over laziness. But you'll know that your transformation was molded by 1,000 small, unglamorous victories, the ones powerful enough to shape the person you're becoming. And here's the beautiful part: small improvements don't care where you start. They don't ask for perfection or talent or privilege. They only ask for effort, humble, steady, heart-driven effort. Even on the days when you feel slow, even on the days when progress feels pointless, even on the days when life seems heavy. Especially on those days, because the smallest steps taken on the hardest days count the most. They form the backbone of your strength, the architecture of your discipline, the story of your resilience. So keep going. Keep adding one page, one problem, one practice session at a time. For every tiny improvement you make today is preparing a future far greater than you can see. And one day, you'll look back and realize that everything big you ever achieved began with something small. There comes a time in every journey When you begin to realize that the grades you chase, the tests you take, the lessons you memorize, they're not just shaping your future, they're shaping you. Every effort you make, no matter how small, becomes a thread woven into the fabric of your identity. It's easy to believe that identity is something you're born with, fixed, permanent, unchangeable. But the truth is far more powerful. Identity is something you build moment by moment, decision by decision, effort by effort. When you choose to show up on a day when your motivation is low, you're building identity. When you push through confusion instead of giving in to frustration, you're building identity. When you tell yourself 5 more minutes, when you rewrite a messy sentence, when you retree a difficult question, you're chiseling away at the person you used to be and carving out someone stronger, someone wiser, someone more capable. Over time, those tiny moments of effort start to shape a version of you that you didn't even know you could become. And here's the beautiful thing: identity built through effort doesn't crumble easily. It doesn't vanish when you face failure. It doesn't falter when someone doubts you. Because it wasn't handed to you. You earned it. You forged it with discipline, with sacrifice, with courage. The world often celebrates talent, but talent can fade. It celebrates intelligence, but intelligence can be challenged. What the world rarely sees, yet what truly defines you, is the relentless effort that becomes your character. Effort teaches you patience. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you how to stand tall in moments when life tries to bring you to your knees. And as you continue to choose effort over ease, something incredible happens. You begin to trust yourself. You begin to believe that you can handle whatever comes your way. You begin to feel the weight of who you're becoming. Someone who doesn't quit when things get hard. Someone who doesn't fear challenges. Someone who knows that they can rise again and again. That trust, that self-belief, becomes your armor. It becomes the quiet voice inside you that whispers, "You've done hard things before. You can do this again." And that voice is the identity you built with your own hands. So don't ever underestimate the power of trying, even when it feels small, even when it feels invisible. Because every effort you make today is defining the person you will be tomorrow. You're not just learning, you're becoming. You're not just studying, you're strengthening. You're not just improving, you're building an identity rooted in perseverance, courage, and purpose. And that identity, the one forged through consistent effort, will carry you farther than any talent you were born with. It will carry you into a future shaped not by chance but by choice. Here's a deep and calming truth hidden beneath the pressure of classrooms and competition, a truth that can free your mind if you let it sink in. Everyone learns at a different speed, and that difference is not a weakness. It's your greatest advantage. You see, the world moves fast, almost too fast, and sometimes it makes you feel like you're falling behind simply because your steps don't match someone else's rhythm. But life is not a race where everyone must run at the same pace. Life is a journey shaped by your own experiences, your own struggles, your own way of understanding the world. Some students grasp things quickly, but often forget them just as fast. Others take their time, learning slowly, deeply, thoroughly. And that kind of learning stays with you for a lifetime. Your pace doesn't make you less intelligent, it makes you unique. It means you're building knowledge on solid ground instead of rushing through shaky foundations. There is strength in slow learning. There is power in steady growth. The world may try to convince you that faster is better, but real mastery, real understanding, is built in patience, not speed. And when you accept that your journey is your own, you stop measuring your progress with someone else's ruler. You stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 10. You stop feeling small because someone else seems ahead. Instead, you begin to appreciate the beauty of your own timing. You begin to realize that your pace has shaped your resilience, your depth, your focus. You begin to see that the challenges which slowed you down also taught you how to endure, adapt, and rise. And that is a gift many fast learners never receive. Because when you have to work harder for something, it becomes a part of you. It becomes woven into your character. It teaches you humility, patience, and persistence. It teaches you that success isn't about speed. It's about direction, intention, and heart. Some of the greatest minds, the greatest creators, the greatest leaders the world has ever known were not the fastest learners. They were the most thoughtful ones. They learned deeply. They learned differently. They learned in ways that didn't match the world's expectations. And that is exactly why they became extraordinary. So if you find yourself moving slower than others, don't let frustration steal your confidence. Don't let comparison dim your spirit. Remember that your pace is preparing you for a future uniquely suited to you. Your slow steps today might be the very reason you stand strong tomorrow. You are not behind. You are not late. You are simply moving according to a rhythm designed for your growth. And when you embrace that rhythm, when you walk your path with patience and pride, you will discover that your speed was never the problem. It was your hidden advantage all along. So don't worry about standing at the top. Worry about standing taller than you did yesterday. Worry about being wiser, more focused, more determined. Because the world doesn't need perfect students. It needs students who grow, who rise, who improve. Students who show others that change is possible. And if today you choose to be just 1% better than you were yesterday, then your future, my friend, is already brighter than you can imagine.